Hey Hillary, I know that I'm not really going to talk negative because that pulls people into a bad zone as a child between parents. But Jerry was addicted, and that brings about a certain amount of dishonesty, especially since he's in denial that alcohol was any kind of problem in his first marriage to Gail or to me. He made money. So he thought everything was fine as long as he brought him a paycheck. He had a real lack of intimacy. There wasn't any because he lied. And it started out really, really bad. He and I were dating for a short while and I got pregnant. I think he wanted me to have the baby eventually but not get married, but I went out west. And guess what? He had said he was divorced. He wasn't even divorced. He was just separated. He's just such a liar, Hillary. I just hope one day you may show some sympathy for me. It would be better for you to have agape love, a little agape empathy, sympathy, and some gnosis, some understanding. My mom and dad, I could go on about the physical and mental abuse that I had to testify against my mom. But I'm like, Mom was in a bad spot, and she's couldn't have sex, she couldn't have intimacy because she grew up in a Seventh-day Adventist religious family, and she lost the most important thing to her, which was her family, because she couldn't have intimacy. She didn't grow up that way. She didn't know how to do it. It was scary. A little bit loss of control, and she was very controlling from fear out of her childhood. Those OCD qualities that she threw into her cross stitch and all those different kinds of activities she did were very controlling. So I'm not, each person has value, but if it's causing you problems, Hillary, me or Nana or Jennifer or Matt or your kids, the world, your school, your work, everything has good and bad about it. There's no perfect person. So I think that the more you understand and have sympathy or empathy for the people, the better off you are, because you're not harboring a bunch of anger. Can't do anything about what happened 20 years ago, Hillary. At least I'm psychologically healthy enough to listen to you, even if it's in a text. And I'm like, well, I'm not exactly sure what she's saying here, because you can't really communicate in a text. And time goes by so fast. Those grandkids are going to be grown. And so I feel that. I'm like, spend a little time with the grandkids might be good for them. But you do what you have to do to get yourself well. James and Morgan both had quite a bit of therapy. It's tough. An alcoholic father, the natural father that commits suicide, the mom that has bipolar, my dad's bipolar too. So you're growing up. But trust me, almost every human has something that they deal with in psychology that's not perfect. So you don't have to be perfect. You can be flawed. And you can say that to people without them disregarding you as a person. If they're intelligently educated enough to say, oh, you got bipolar. Well, let's see. How can I be supportive of that without killing, myself? That's what I want, is education on, if I do get manic, what can you do to protect yourself but also help me? Is there techniques that maybe you could learn because your mom has an illness? I'm on good medicine now. I wake up every day ready to go. I sleep good. But still, I do still have the illness. It doesn't go away. Something I have to deal with. And unfortunately, it's been put on your plate too. So I guess for you, I would like you to study up. Because a lot of people in this society have bipolar. It's not just me. Tim was probably bipolar too. So, you're a geologist, but you also be a biologist, chemistry class of the brain. And, I don't know. I just want to help you. And now that I don't think the grandkids have any problem with me. So I think maybe this is from your past. But when you stonewall and you hold it in, then you can't grow because you got to share it. And sometimes it rips open some uncomfortable places in your heart. But as you can see, I can take it. I'm a tough bird. You tell me whatever you want to tell me. But as you can see, I can take it. Happy New Year.